Hello, Colorado Crush fans. I'm Sean Liotta, and I'm the coach of the fans for Project Franchise. And I'm joined today by Ray Austin, who's one of the co-founders of Project Franchise. And we've recently acquired the Colorado Crush franchise in the IFL for the 2017 season. And we will be bringing you the second fan-run team in the history of professional indoor football. Part of that process, as you may know if you followed along with Franchise, fans drive all the decisions for the football team. The big one is selecting the head coach, and that's what we're here to do today. We previously had a nationwide search for a head coaching position in Salt Lake City, Utah. What we are doing now is taking the top vote getters who narrowly missed out on being named the head coach in Salt Lake City, and we're bringing them to you to ultimately make the selection for the Colorado Crush. So today we are pleased to be joined by Coach Alvance Robinson. Hello, Coach.
Hey, how you doing, Sean? How you doing, Ray? Fans?
Great. Well, Coach, hey, we're going to get right into it. And again, fans, you will be able to go to coloradocrushfootball.com to be able to vote for Coach Robinson. You'll be able to view his previous interviews, all of his background information that is archived from his previous interviews with Franchise. Getting right into it, Coach, describe for us your training camp process, how you set up your practice schedules for your 2-week training camp outside of your first regular season game. So you're really going to have 3 weeks. You're going to have 2 weeks of training camp, then you're going to have the week of your first game. So kind of talk us through the process, how you set that whole deal up.
The training camp process is everybody knows with arena football, it's short, man. You're getting really right into it. So you basically have to bring in a group of guys that kind of gel in together immediately, and a staff as well. So during that first 3 weeks, maybe we'll come out, we'll practice every single day, Monday through Friday. We'll probably practice 2 times a day, but it won't be a rigorous training camp because, as you know, the bodies in arena football are at a minimum. So you can't have too much of a rigorous and banging. So I'll come out and, we'll practice 1 time in the morning, and then we'll probably have maybe a half an hour to an hour break. It's kind of like how, I did it when I was in the AFL, and then we would come back, and instead of having a full practice, we would skip like individual. We would skip, the run screen periods and things like that, and we'll come out and we'll go straight into like red zone, 3-on-3s, and team, because team is the most important thing in Skelly, which is basically 3-on-3. Getting the QBs and the receivers mixed in together, and we'll typically do that Monday through Friday. We won't have 2 practices every day. We may do it every other day. We might have it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then on Saturday we'll have a team scrimmage. We'll have offense versus defense, or we could possibly mix up the teams, but basically offense and defense because you don't have as many guys. I was thinking of the college system a little bit, but just offense versus defense, you'll have a full scrimmage. We'll run the clock. We'll probably script it though, maybe go down at 60 plays, have that good scrimmage, bang it out, tackle, make sure everything is live, have a live field goal period as well, extra points, all that good stuff. And then on Sunday, we'll come in, we'll be off on Sunday, but we'll evaluate the film. We'll get these guys in the weight room, the training room, and things like that. We'll also, during the training camp, we'll lift on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as well, the days that we have the 2-a-days, or it depends on how guys feel. We could mix it up and have it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, at least get them in there 2 times a week, training and working out, because Tuesdays and Thursdays are the lighter days. And so, we could get them in there in the morning, have them lift out the soreness from the day before, and, come back with the 2-a-day the next day. So I'll pretty much have that same set schedule throughout training camp leading into week 1 of the first game.
Would you would you make that mandatory, that lift day, those lift days?
Oh yes, that lift date is mandatory. You know, I don't know too many programs or organizations that make it optional. So, you know, I definitely would make that mandatory.
What about conditioning?
Same in there as well. You know, with the weight training and things like that, the condition will be built in, you know, in there. And, you know, it won't be, I guess it shouldn't be too strenuous or whatnot, because they'll have practice later on that day and they'll be coming off of a 2-a-day the day before. So, you know, you kind of want to save their legs a little bit, but you want to make sure they get a little bit of condition as well.
Cool. Do you have your whiteboard with you?
Yes, I actually do.
Awesome. All right. Can you diagram me how you would defend a 3x1, first and 10 midfield? How you would defend that?
I got my whiteboard here. I'm not in my office right now, so I brought my whiteboard out right on the side a little bit here.
And if you want, you can draw it up first if that's easier, and then explain it. That's fine. But draw us up a 3x1 and show us how you would defend it.
Oh, I'm gonna get up here. Sorry about that. Got my whiteboard here. So, can you see that? I'm sorry.
Yep, we were good where you were. Yep.
All right. So, typical right, you have trips right. So, some teams that have X wing, H halfback, Z backside, or wherever they want to be at or whatnot. I probably would do maybe a 4 cross. You know, it's a zone, a cover 4, where that zone can turn into man, where guys comes into their zone, whatever routes they're running, you know, they'll take them. You know, because arena football, this is a pretty much man-to-man league, and when somebody comes in their zone, it basically turns into man-to-man. And so anywhere I have my corner sitting a little lower, so they won't all be on the same level. So I may have him about. I have my safety probably about. I have my jack or my other safety here, probably playing over in the middle a little bit inside shade, as well as the other safety inside shade of the third receiver. And I have my corner playing about off like a good 7 yards as well on the backside. So if they got some sort
How
of
about your linebacker? How about your linebacker, coach? Because you only got 7 out there.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. And of course, I have my Mac in the box. He's rushing. You know, if they're going empty, I have to. You know, I don't want the quarterback to sit back there and have all day to throw the ball. You know, that's how guys get picked apart. So I want to put pressure on him as much as possible. You know, even in the NFL, you see guys like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, when they get some pressure put on them, you know, all quarterbacks kind of panic in those situations. So I'm definitely bringing my Mac, blitzing, and, you know, we're trying not to get beat deep. Let's keep everything in front of us. You know, and whoever enters, you know, your zone, you take a man-to-man. So I kind of would defend it with basically a cover 4, a 4 cross look with my DBs and with my Mac rushing.
Okay. Well, okay, Coach, you got anything on that? And would you drop that in or would you or have him rushing?
It depends. You know, sometimes I like to drop that in because you have those mobile quarterbacks. So the weak side in, and which is, I bring it back up, which will be this guy right here. You know, I have him take a step up field, to sell that he's rushing outside, and then go ahead and drop back. And he'll be kind of like my spy guy or the flat defender right here on the QB, just in case, he try to take off or anything. I would do it with my hands.
Okay.
Front side end as well. Same thing. You step 2 steps upfield or 1 step upfield and go ahead and drop and just kind of spy the QB or, play the flats or whatever. Or if he sees us lined up, how we're lined up, and he take 2 steps upfield and this guy tries to run a quick slant or he try to run a quick slant, he might be able to rob it and pick it,
Okay. Coach, while you have the whiteboard up, go ahead and erase that.
Okay.
And what we're going to have you do, I know you're an offensive guy, primarily with certainly all the numbers you put up as a player. You're no stranger to that end zone. So show me the first play that you would install in training camp, passing game. Show us your first passing game play you'd put in camp, and then take us through your first run play as well that you would install. So pretend that Ray and I and all the fans that we're your players. It's day 1 of install, and get on that board and show us your first pass play.
Gotcha. My first pass play here. So my first pass play here. If y'all can see that, it's a poco route basically. It's a post or a corner here. The main routes in Arena Football League is the post and the corner that DBs have to defend here. I have my X and my Z at 6 yards or hitches at 6 yards, and I have the wing either run a post or a corner. I could tag it post or corner, or I could actually give him the choice to run poco himself, depending on the leverage of the middleman, the safety of the DB. My back just, he'll just sit in and check. He'll pick up the blitz or whatnot.
Would you
use
your back in a check release situation, Coach? If because in the IFL, it's a little different than the Arena League, the Arena rules. In the IFL, they can essentially get 5 DBs and drop them wherever they want to go. So the only thing, and I know this from experience from coaching in both kind of leagues, the Arena rules and the IFL rules, the poco route at times can be taken away, just because they can drop guys into those areas where it's not like Arena where you can say, okay, well, we're gonna put these guys on the walls, and then we're gonna work our money man in the middle in motion, and he's gonna have a two-way go, on that guy. They can take that two-way go away, Coach, because they can, essentially have a too-high safety look, or some type of a robber type deal or whatever to kind of take some of that stuff away, or Tampa, type coverage where they can get that linebacker up underneath of that. How do you handle that?
Well, if they start doing things like that, I may send my back on a angle route. I wouldn't send him to the flats because I don't want to take away this throw right here on the outside hitch. So I would send him. If you got backers dropping and dropping in the zones, you got the safeties playing that cover 2 look, dropping over the top and taking this away, or just sitting up here taking that away. I might send my back on the angle route, right in the hole where the Mac or the Jack would be, and send him right there and hopefully hit him. And he's up the middle of the field. So that's how I would kind of counter that. I'll send my back out on the route, on the angle route, especially because those linebackers, once you get them to flowing, thinking he's going out, it just come right back underneath, up on the linebacker in the wide open center of the field, especially if they're in that 2 shell and you have a safety or a corner here or a safety here, and they both shooting out. So the center of the field is wide open.
Okay. How about run play wise, Coach? Show us your the first run play you put in day one.
Gotcha. Day one run play. Let me go ahead and draw this up. My first run play I probably would install is like you told me the Arena Football League, I would install the zone read play, and I'm drawing this up right now. I feel having a mobile quarterback is essential, especially having the running back being so active in the IFL as opposed to all right. So the first run play I would install is can you guys see this one pretty good?
Yep, good coach.
Okay. First one I would install is the zone read. I'll run it out of a 2-by-1 formation. So I have my Z and my wing in motion on the right side because you can have two guys in motion. I have my wide backside on the ball. You have to have, in the IFL, 4 guys at least on the ball. So make sure this guy is on the ball backside. Have my halfback offset to the right. We'll zone read with him. So he can either hit outside or inside the A gap here. This is how we'll block it. If the end on the backside is an outside guy, we'll just kind of go ahead and wash him out the way, and we'll just cut right up in between the A gap here. I'll have my center kind of scoop the nose and cut him off side here, the opposite way the play going. We will leave this end, the front side end, unblocked right here because this is who the QB is reading. So if this guy just sits here and just plays it, we'll go ahead and hand it off and find the hole. If he goes ahead and shoot down and take away this run, we'll just pull it from the QB and go ahead and replace him, where he would be. The front side guard right here, I'll have him, reach and touch the nose and then shoot up to the linebacker and go ahead and block and seal him off, or try to get around him and seal him off from the edge from the quarterback here. And the outside guys, I'll have my Y, he's coming up blocking man over man. But if they have another jack or a safety that's back here, getting the zone read, I'll have him, if the corner is dropping, I'll have him shoot and pick up that safety or that jack or wherever he is. And these guys right here, we're blocking man on man as well. So he's going up, getting the safety in the corner. So that's the first play that I would install run-wise. And you could do I could do something else as well with this. I could make it into a pass as well. Where I got the zone read action going right here, and I got both of these guys, shooting, screaming across the field, dragging across the field, just in case to give the quarterback another option. So I would install that zone read because you could do multiple things off of that as well. So I have the Q running, and if one of these guys miss their blocks, they shoot down, or one of these corners decide to shoot down, they're here. So it's a good play to run, man. You can do multiple things off that zone read in the IFL.
Nice. Awesome. You can put that out for now. Awesome. So let's kind of the whole project franchise and what we've been doing and what we're expecting from a head coach, but also allowing our fans to be engaged and involved in a lot of the decision making and helping to build this organization.
Yes.
How do you work with fan scouts? Going back to scouts, you're going to be in a position to have your own actual scouting department based off of the fans. My question is, how do you, as a coach, go to working on how to uncover a diamond in the rough that a scout or a fan may have found that would wants to get a look for you for the Colorado Crush?
How would I go about working them out, or? giving
Yeah,
them a look.
how would you go about working with the fan scouts, finding a player?
Well, this is a fan-run organization, and I'm highly familiar with it from my last go-round with you guys a couple of months ago. But I definitely, would interact with the fans, whether it's via social media, whether it's out in practice or whatever scouts that we have that are fans. If they told me that they found a guy that they think would, be a great fit for this organization, I definitely would take a look at them, and the coaching staff as well. We all are on board, with these guys, with the fans. So they are our scouts. So, when they tell us that they found somebody, obviously you have to take a look at them. So I'll go review the film if they got film on these guys. I watch film. I try to get them down for a workout. Or I don't know if they have 2-day workouts anymore or things like that, but I definitely try to give them a workout to see, if these guys, fit the mold of, what we're trying to build here. And I will also interact with fans to kind of see what kind of players that they want or the product that they want on the field as well. So, if I get an idea of how they want, players to be or what type of players they want, I would try my best, to get those type of players to come into, our training camp and compete and be on our team. So it's a fan-run organization. So you kind of got to give the fans what they want, So if they found a diamond in the rough, we want to work them out. The more that we got that's out there scouting, that I think the better off we are. Because, as a coaching staff in the Arena Football League or the IFL, it's only so many people. So you need all the help you can get, So, it's almost like the NFL. You got the fans out here that's scouting in different regions of the country for you. To me, that's a plus. Organization will have that, but the Utah organization, and I think we'll be at a major advantage because they might see somebody in Hattiesburg, Mississippi that I don't know nothing about. And if they discover a diamond in the rough, I want to get that guy to Hattiesburg, Mississippi to Fort Collins, Colorado, playing for the Colorado Crush. So there's major advantages to having fans be scouts for us because they're all over the globe. You might have somebody coming out the country. You never know.
Never know.
Great point, Coach. My next question is 2 parts. So, and it touches on Ray's question he just asked you. With the IFL rosters and the limited roster numbers, and the fact that the IFL has the veteran rule where you can only have 7 veteran players with more than 3 years of indoor experience on the roster, how do you take these diamonds in the rough? How do you take these young players out of college and teach them this game?
Well, it's all about development, man, and teaching. I'm a college football coach right now, and we get guys straight out of high school, 17, 18 years old, and when they transition from high school to college, it's a totally different game. The pace is different, the verbiage is different, everything, the organization is different, and it's no different really from college guys going to the IFL. They have to transition and be taught a certain structure and a certain way the game is played. And with me, especially having rookies, I love to teach. So it won't be nothing for me. I'm kind of young and energetic. I say kind of because I'm 33 years old, and I love to teach the game right now to, the college boys. And it's no different for the IFL. When they get here, I will show them the proper way to, run routes, how to nose guys up. You got to take away the DB's leverage by getting inside and nosing guys up. You got to teach quarterbacks 3-step drops. You got to teach them the 5-step drops. And in the IFL and the arena game, they got to be able to throw from awkward angles. So it's not all, perfect in the drop back game and things of that nature. You got to teach linemen how to cut quick, on those quick screens and the 3-step game as well. And then the DBs, you kind of got to teach DBs, hey, this is built. It's a bend but don't break style, but know that you're going to get the ball caught on you sometimes. You may get scored on sometimes, but you have to just go on to the next play. And, we'll teach these guys to take away that inside leverage, playing off at a certain, and by the time a receiver hits the line of scrimmage, you might want to be off here, teach them different field zones, where to squat, certain tendencies of receivers and offensive play callers and once they learn the route concepts, they'll be able to jump routes and all that. And just like receivers as well, it's different because you're not stationary. Now you have to come in motion. And, a lot of guys make the mistake of full speed in motion and run routes. And you can't really run full speed, per se. You got to be able to run percent or 90 to 95%, sometimes 80% on certain routes. It's not all about, hey, I'm 100% straight downfield, because it's a 50-yard game. The angles are a lot tighter. I teach them the angles of the game. The route's going to be a lot more precise. So you got to teach, QBs to fit them in short, small, real small windows, receivers to run routes, and be real tight, because that wall is there too, and that wall is undefeated. So you got to teach receivers how to catch footballs and absorb the wall, as well. And then a lot of the places have the rounded end zones as well. So you got to kind of teach them how to run routes, based off the rounded end zones as opposed to the square ones, or the ones that are open where you can actually catch and tap and keep both feet down, things of that nature. And even going over the wall, when receivers are catching balls, if the referee look over the wall and you dropped it, go ahead and pick it up quick and show the ball, because that's a catch. You have to just go ahead and teach guys, the game, the rules of the game, the angles of the game, how fast the game is, and everything. So, I'm rookies, because I'm always teaching, and even as a veteran in the AFL playing arena football, I still was learning from other guys, every year. So, I just love to teach, and that's how I do. I just continue to teach every day of practice.
Nice. Awesome. Well, tell me this. How do you instill in your players the importance of being a good citizen and a positive ambassador, not for just the indoor football league, but also the Colorado Crush?
Oh, man, being an athlete, man, you have so much influence over the community, over kids, and, after games or during games, I'll sit there and I'll tell them, hey, man, take a look around, man. Look, at these people are paying to come see you play. You got kids making T-shirts with guys' numbers on them and things like that, man. There's no better feeling than that, man. And the arena football game is a fan-friendly game. So I would kind of just, instill in these guys, hey, I feel like, we owe these guys something. These guys are paying our salaries, and it's just not because they're paying salaries and things like that, man. When you're doing things out in the community for people, you might have a canned food drive. You might, go to the school and talk to kids about the importance of education, especially reading, because reading is essential. And, the kids are our next generation. So we need these kids to do well, and, professional athletes, kids look up to us and things of that nature, and they tend to follow us. And if we're going into communities, preaching positive messages and doing things in the community, a few times a week, or whenever we can get out, man, I think it'd be a great win, not only for the Colorado Crush organization, but and the player himself for doing something just positive for the next man or woman.
Great. Coach, I'm going to give you a situation here. Our fans are going to be calling, a lot of the plays on the field. Basically, all of the plays are going to be, coming through our fans. But there are going to be situations where it's going to rely on, kind of your on-the-fly decision-making in certain situations. And I'm going to give you an example. With the limited rosters that we have, you're aware of this. Your left tackle during the game goes down with an injury. Now, in the second quarter, I'm going to give you a scenario. You don't have a fourth offensive lineman dressed. You decided to dress, your defensive lineman. You have 4 D linemen, whatever it may be. And one of those D linemen can come over and play that guard spot, okay? But he is not a great pass protector, right? You know that. He can run block. He can run block, but he's not a great pass protector. That's not his thing. He's a nose guard. How do you handle that? What do you do so that you can get through the last 2.5 quarters of the game and win the game and put your team in a position to win? How do you handle that adjustment? Because we know the roster limits. You can't call somebody up off the bench or bring one of your practice squad guys out of the crowd. You got to roll with what you got. How do you handle that?
With the protections, I would just kind of slide the line a little bit and have the back chip out, help that guy, the tackle. Every pass play we have, I'll have him chip that in and help him out pretty much all the time. And that's how I pretty much will offset that. I have to send that back over there and chip that guy, or I'll just kind of slide the line a little bit where the back takes him. But you definitely have to chip that in and help him out, man, with that back. I'll have him check every single pass play if that guy is over there killing us, and I know that guy isn't good in the pass game, in pass protecting, I'm sorry. So I definitely will have that back, help chip that in, especially if he's a speed rushing outside guy. I would just, send that back over there and just side shoulder chipping, and bring him right to the guy, So hopefully we can get a flat back or two on him, by helping out, So that's how I would kind of offset that.
Great.
How do you identify or develop swing players, especially with the limited roster? You're going to have guys that can play both ways. So how would you go about that?
During the recruiting process as well. So, I would I will work with the fans as well and kind of, get it out there, because in the indoor game, the more you can do, the better off you'll be. And so, we'll kind of look for guys that, a receiver in high school, but played cornerback in college, or played cornerback and then made the transition over to receiver. Or we could find like a jack linebacker who's kind of like a hybrid type of guy who played maybe like a rover or strong safety type of deal, who can cover and rush the passer as well. So we would try to versatile guys that could play multiple positions, and also a couple of times a week. We won't just throw them in there in the game. Obviously, we'll take those guys and let them, work at that position, maybe once or twice a week during practice. So, if we got, like you said, we'll dress 4 DBs or whatever we're going to dress, we'll make sure that one of those DBs are a swing man or is a swing man, just in case one of those receivers go down. And Mr. Liotta made a great point about what if one of my offensive tackles went down, so I have, the most versatile guy over there, because a lot of defensive linemen play offensive line at one point, sometimes. So I'll make sure that I have 1 or 2 of those guys ready to be able to, switch over and play a little bit of tackle for us or guard. And, and on the opposite tip, I have maybe a lineman, one of our guards or tackles, be ready to pass rush. So we'll kind of work it in practice as well, having guys play a different position or two. And, that goes into special teams as well, because you want guys that's able to play special teams too. So, I want guys that's able to run down on kickoff. I need guys that's able to block and be athletic on kickoff return. I need guys that's able to rush on field goal block or PAT at points as well. So the more versatile we are, the better off we are.
One other question for you, Coach. This is the final question I have, and then I'll turn it over to Ray to close it out with any other questions he might have. The IFL is a grind. It's a long season, Coach. Okay, you're talking about from training camp all the way up to the Colorado Crush fans are planning to play for the United Bowl Championship. So that's a grind. It's a long season. With the small roster numbers, how do you as a coach ensure that you're keeping your guys fresh and we're having optimum performance as we get to the end of the season? Because you and I both know it's not always the team that starts off the best or the team that might be the best team in the league that wins it. It could be the team that's playing their best football, is the healthiest, is the freshest, and is in the best condition when it hits that playoff grind. So how do you do that, and then how do you handle the bye week?
Well, how you try to keep your guys fresh, like I told you, with training camp, I won't bang them too bad because, guys go down quick, and this is football. It's a physical game. So during game weeks, we'll play that Saturday. We might watch film that Sunday and get those things corrected. We'll have Monday off, Tuesday, so we'll get 3 good days of practice in, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. But Thursday isn't, a super banging grind out day as well, because you're 2 days out before a game. You're basically getting your real work days on on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then Thursday is pretty much a polish day, and red zone. Typical red zone day. Fridays is a walkthrough. So these guys will have a couple of days off during the week. We get low on bodies. There are different ways to counter that as well. So Arizona Rattlers, for instance, that I know of, Kevin Guy, man, he's a great coach. After playing the Saturday game, getting late into the season, he'll actually make 2 days. A lot of walkthrough, reviewing film, offensive and defensively. So he'll give Tuesdays off. And I have that kind of mindset as well. I love that mindset. As we get deeper into the season and guys are injured and hurt and things like that, I'll kind of try to preserve their bodies. And, I'll make sure that we're watching film on Sundays. On Mondays, we're working out. We get into the whirlpool. We'll get into the training room and things of that nature. On Tuesdays, I'll make it more of a kind of a walkthrough with a lot of individual things, a lot of group walkthrough with team and Skelly and things of that nature. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, those are our work days. And then Friday, is a walkthrough day. So it's like, on Friday, you're just going through, I might have a first 7 to 10 plays scripted or whatnot, and situational football and all that good stuff, and going through all our special teams on Friday in the walkthrough and things of that nature. So, if tends to be a problem, we might have to move to Wednesday and Thursday practices and kind of give them Monday and Tuesday off as well. You know what I mean? So, it just depends on the situation. So that's kind of how we'll offset that and preserve bodies, because, I've seen guys go down, man, in an instant, where 3 and 4 guys go down. I've seen where 3 quarterbacks been hurt in the game, and now you got to put a receiver at the QB position. So, I would kind of preserve the bodies, and like that especially late into the season, man, where, we're kind of banged up. And the off week, I may give them, if it's a 16, how many games is it in the IFL? Is it 16, right? 16 game season. If we only have 1 bye week, depending on how the schedule goes and depending on where that bye week is at that time, I may give them the entire week off, man, to kind of rest mentally and physically, because it is a grind. Training camp is a grind. The season is a grind. That turf, is tough on joints. Those walls are hard, so it's almost like playing hockey sometimes, so I may give them that entire week off. And, I tell them to make sure they're doing some conditioning, while they're off, and I trust these guys to come back and get right into it. We'll start on that Monday as opposed to that Tuesday and go ahead and work that whole week going into the game. So I probably would give them that entire week off, to kind of rest them a little bit. Or if the bye week is like the second week of the season, we might practice on Tuesday and then I'll let them off. But, I'll probably give them that entire week off, though.
Well, cool, Coach. I just want to give you this last piece to, say what you want to the fans of Colorado, why you should be the new head coach, and just plead your case.
Oh, man. Hey, Colorado Crush fans, I'm happy to be in this position, man. I know some guys that played for the Crush when they were in Denver. I know how great of an organization it is. I had a buddy play out there in Fort Collins a couple of years ago from the University of Michigan. I reached out to him and spoke to him. He loves that community. He loves that city. You know, he said it's a beautiful place, and you know, I take his word for it. You know, I know how good the organization was ran, and it still is ran because it's still up and going. You know, I believe in these owners. I believe in the project franchise. I believe in everything they're doing right now. This is my second go around with it. You know, being a finalist for Utah, the Salt Lake Screaming Eagles position. I'm sorry, and you know, nothing would make me feel better than to get this job, and you know, guys to put together a winning team and bring a championship back to Colorado. I know you guys want a championship. And, you know, that's what I'm about, man, developing good players, putting together great quality players in the community, and winning championships, man. It will be magnificent. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the opportunity. I'm very thankful for that opportunity. I do know how to grind. Right now I'm in the middle of a grinding college football season. And, you know, I took a couple of hours, you know, to speak to you guys, man. And, you know, I'm just very thankful for this opportunity here. And, you know, hopefully I did a great job today, or a good job to you guys. And, you know, I'll see you guys soon. If my energy seemed low, that's because I've been going on 15 hours straight. So, you know, I've been in here grinding, man. I just broke down some film before I came and did this interview right here, man. So, you know, I'm excited. You know, I know some guys that won the Arena Bowl out there with the Crush, so I know, you know, how the fan base is in that Colorado area. And also, I did spend some time in Utah, so I kind of got a good idea of how you guys are out there. And, you know, I would love it out there, man. I would love to have an opportunity to come out there and show you guys, you know, how I am as a person in the community, you know, a coach, a mentor to the players, and, you know, and to kids, man, you know. So, you know, it's a fan-friendly game, and, you know, I know all about it, and I'm just thankful, and hopefully I can get that opportunity.
Well, Coach, don't have to apologize for your energy, because we know if you're out here on a Sunday at 7 o'clock, you know, you must be that says a lot about you. So I think we all get that. So we appreciate you giving us the time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys, Ray and Sean. I definitely appreciate you guys, man. You know, this is a great opportunity, man. I'm working on myself, being a better coach, and you know, I think I'm getting better every day.
Well, Coach, on behalf of our entire team at Franchise, we want to again thank you for taking part in this process again. For all the Colorado Crush fans out there, you will be able to vote for Coach Alvance Robinson at coloradocrushfootball.com. The website will have a link that will take you. You'll be able to view his previous interviews with us when he was pursuing the other opportunity. And so you'll be able to even learn more about him as well as this interview here today. And again, we really thank you for taking part in the process, and we wish you best of luck, Coach.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Sean. You know, again, man, I can't express, you know, my gratitude towards you guys and the fans as well, because a lot of the things that has happened in my life, they wouldn't happen without you guys. And that's sincere for me. You know, I think about it every day. You know, I wake up and think about how lucky I am, you know, to be in this position, to be a college football coach. And that all came from the indoor football game. So, you know, a lot of things in my life happened because of you guys. And I really appreciate it. And I kind of, you know, I want to pay you guys back, man, and bring a championship to Colorado.
Awesome, man.
All right, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Coach. Best of luck to you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Later.